Hello everyone, you're watching Newcastle United Live and Times YouTube channel, and on today's show I'm joined by Paul, Len and Owen, and we're going to discuss last night's game with Newcastle United and Blackburn Rovers, where, let's be honest, they just got over the finishing line. But what's the most important thing is we're through the next round, and that's all that counts. Right, I'm not going to waffle on too much because I'm sure the lads have got plenty to say about last night's game. So we'll start with you then.
Oh, thanks very much.
What's your take on last night's game?
Well, as you know, on the previous show, I wasn't as positive as the other lads, so I was never expecting.
Neither was I, but there you go.
Yeah, me and you, I think, we had the sensible heads on and thought we might scrape it 2-1. I think there was others thinking 3-0, 4-0, and God knows what. So well done, Paul. I'm pleased I didn't take your. Yeah. So I always knew it was going to be hard. I think since John Dahl Thomason's left the club, I think they do play a little bit differently, a bit more defensively. However, they did play a lot better, like going forward than what I thought they would have done. So I'd sort of settled down, and I thought it was quite an even game. I thought the first half was terrible from Newcastle, absolutely awful. And I think Eddie Howe sort of would have thought the same. In the second half, better. But still, really, the majority of the time was just disjointed. And obviously, he'd made 4 or 5 changes, and we just didn't look any better. And bearing in mind, we're playing a team who are only 6 points away from being relegated in the Championship. I think it was a really poor effort. I do think, however, from a neutral's point of view, when the game sort of hit, I suppose from when we scored onwards, we scored in about the 70th minute. Good goal. We should have been looking to score a second and a third, like a proper Premiership side would. We're not doing that. We're not playing like a proper Premiership side at the minute, and therefore we didn't look for a second or a third, and they then got the equaliser about 10 minutes later. And as time went on and on and on, I thought, oh, here we go, extra time. Extra time was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I think both keepers were excellent. That was a highlight for me, Dubravka's performance. I think he was outstanding. He single-handedly got us to the penalty shootout, and he single-handedly won us the penalty shootout. He was brilliant, and it'll do his reputation no harm whatsoever in that particular game. Obviously, as extra time was going on, and it was getting closer to penalties, I thought, well, get a penalty shootout, we'll get knocked out on penalties, that's what we'll do. And pleasantly surprised, it was a good penalty shootout, and we came out on top. As I said, Dubravka with a critical save at the right time. So, you know, Rob, you're right. Getting through the next round was everything to Newcastle last night, and we did the job. And I think you could tell on the look of Eddie Howe's face for most of the match, really. And then the interview afterwards, I think he was just like relieved that night was over, because to get in the quarterfinals, I think it's only am I right in saying it's only the 3rd time in the last 20 years or something we've been this far in the competition? So it'll be nice to see. Hopefully we'll get a decent draw. Yeah, it's been a long time, and I think it's only the 3rd penalty shootout we've ever had, and we've lost the other 2.
First one we've ever won in the FA Cup as well, I think.
Is it? Yeah.
Apparently.
So I think back there, the last time we're going to this stage into the quarterfinals, I think we played Man City and got beat in 2020, I think, from what I remember. But I'm not very good at stats, so we haven't got the stat man on today to help us out with that one. But all in all, the only positives really was Dubravka. I thought Almiron actually did a canny shift when he came on. I think he gave Will a little bit extra in that area of the pitch. But other than that, we're through the next round. It's a game to forget. And I really hope, for once, with regard to cup competitions, that when the draw takes place tonight at 7 o'clock, I just hope we'll get a home draw not against one of the big sides. And I think if we do, then we can go all the way.
Well, let's hope we get more luck than we did in the Carabao Cup draw, because, I mean, what was it? Man City, Man United, bloody
Chelsea.
Jesus Christ. Aye, Chelsea.
Well, we're either draw the big clubs or away ties. You know, what's wrong with just drawing home against Coventry City in the next round? That'll do us nicely.
I mean, I watched it on BBC One last night, as I'm sure everyone did, and I thought Eddie Howe looked very, very anxious throughout the game. He looked very uncomfortable. Mind you, so did we watching it.
Mind it wasn't going the way he thought, was he? He wasn't.
No. I don't think it went. I don't think it went the way anyone thought it was going to go.
I think with Eddie Howe, he's consistent, isn't he? You know, whether we're winning, losing, going through a good patch or a bad patch, you look on that bench and he's like a robot, isn't he? You know, which is, you know, fair enough. That's the way he manages the situation. But last night, yeah, there was clear signs, and I suppose on the back of the weekend result, when at the press conference he actually, you know, called the players out for the first time really in his time at Newcastle. I think on the back of that, I think he's maybe starting to feel the pressure. But the media don't help. You know, I'm listening on Talk Sport there, and they're basically saying, you know, do Newcastle United have to win the FA Cup for Eddie Howe to keep his job? And it's absolute nonsense. Of course he doesn't. You know, it's absolutely ridiculous. And that's basically, I think Darren Bent was looking down all the messages that were coming in to Talk Sport this afternoon. He says every single one of them was in support of Eddie Howe. So onwards and upwards, we're into the quarter-final draw, and that's all that counts.
What Eddie Howe's done with that team, right? He's got a shitload of credit in the bank. That's how I look at it. Shitload of credit. So, right, excellent then. Right, Paul, we'll move on to you for your deep analysis. How did you see the game last night?
I wasn't far off on my prediction.
You're miles off.
4-0, yeah, probably was.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Now you're not worried. It's all about opinions.
No, but when I looked at the game and I thought, I was looking on their forums before the match, and I don't think any of them, once they've seen their team, especially they said we're going to get battered tonight. But I think, like Len said, I think he's done a good job. That Eustace, since he come in, he sort of steadied the ship for them, hasn't he? They're a lot more solid to break, and they were a lot better than I thought. They'd be quite solid at the back, going off the last few games, even though I did predict a 4-0 win. But going forward, they were a lot better than I thought. Whether it was just our midfield, it's still a problem where there's just one simple ball again, and you go into the space where the number 10 is, and it's just one simple pass and it's not cut out. And now we're really missing Joe Linton, but like we don't seem to have that energy or legs in midfield. Bruno looked rather sluggish. I mean, his passing and everything else was great last night, but in some games he looks really tired, doesn't he? It's like he's treading water half the time. Longstaff does a lot of running without actually trying to tackle, pretends to tackle. I would drop him immediately. Longstaff, I thought he was dreadful last night. Dreadful.
I thought it was poor, yeah.
Yeah, shocking. Even worse than dreadful. Shocking. Well, Smiley came on, did okay, I thought. Willock, high energy for about 45, 50 minutes, and then obviously he tired a little bit. He had to go off. His drive from midfield is going to be important. And the defence again, I thought Lascelles played half decent until that error. He was winning a lot of headers, and but I don't know what he was doing when he missed the ball, like for that schoolboy stuff, that basically.
Comical.
But if it wasn't for Dubravka last night, I think we would have lost, we'd be out of the cup.
Yeah,
I thought it was his best game since his debut against Man United.
Yeah.
I thought he was really good last night, Dubravka. Mind their keeper made some good saves as well, didn't he? Especially from Gordon and Longstaff. And in the first half, Gordon should have buried that when he was clean through. I think that was our only chance in the first half was a Longstaff shot. Second half wasn't much better. A couple of half chances, Lascelles with a header, if I remember. Good goal. Good little move for the goal. And then I thought 1-0. I thought, like good teams do, just keep the ball. Keep the puck hot, as they say in America. Keep the puck hot. Keep the ball. Pass it around. Make the opposition do the work. And then we just let them back in. It just got a bit gung-ho. We didn't need it to be. I don't know. I think with Tonali and that out, there's not enough control in that midfield as well. We can't keep the ball.
We can't dictate it. We can't control it.
Constantly giving the ball away. Constantly. It's a big worry. Isak, he played in the middle. After about 20 minutes, he swapped with Gordon. Gordon looked, I don't know, you miss him off the wing, but Isak looked better on the left. Still doesn't look fit, Isak, does he? I still think there's problems with the groin. Probably going to the knife in the summer, I would imagine. But like I say, Len was saying, I think it's the result that matters. We're through the next round. 7 o'clock when we draw Man City away. We'll think maybe next season. Yeah. But we've got to look positive. Hopefully we'll get like a home tie or Coventry or Leicester away or someone like that. And it'd be good getting back to Wembley, wouldn't it, in the semi-final, and hopefully Man City get through against Liverpool or something. If Liverpool get through.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Right, excellent, Paul. Then, what was your take on the game last night? Sorry, Owen, what was your take on the game last night?
I'm going to say it on a kind of shot like.
Then we'll have your review again, and we'll miss Owen.
Yeah.
I've been up early, man. I've been up early. My
I think.
apologies.
So, well, yeah, the main thing was getting through, and I think that Len and yourself, Rob, have touched on that. That was the most important thing going into that game last night. And we've been around the block enough to know that not always have we deserved what we got out of the game. So I'm more than happy to take the other side of it. If you're not playing well and you win ugly, I think that's part and parcel of football, So I was over the moon that we won on penalties. As soon as we went to penalties, that I thought, it's going to be repeated. We're not going to win. Typical Newcastle United curse, and lo and behold, apart from Harvey Barnes, everyone else scored the penalty, So if you're scoring 4-5, you've got a chance. And Dubravka was excellent. I know I've given stick over the last few weeks where I just think Pope is much better all around, but last night I thought he was terrific. I think the save for the goal as well, that he tipped onto the crossbar, the reflex of that was just
fantastic.
Really good.
I think the only thing couple of things I've got to add is that Anders mentioned there about keeping the ball. My worry is, and even last season we had this a little bit. I thought where the way that we play is on the counter and it's on the break, and if you're getting too much of the ball, that takes that style of play out of your game. And I thought last night we had lots of the ball. I don't know what the possession stats were. Alan would probably know that if he was on, but the possession was there, but keeping the ball is a problem. Not in your own half, although a couple of times last night I thought that there was a couple of sloppy passes where they got in. I don't know if someone passed I think it was Shearer passed to Longstaff. And
that was poor. It was a bad ball, that.
Yeah. But the problem with keeping the ball is the final third. There's no sort of impetus, I don't think. Like last year, the biggest threat was down the right-hand side between Almiron and Trippier, where that seemed to be our outlet, where there's that little overlap. And if the overlap's not there, Longstaff or whoever the
Longstaff as well.
Get beyond them, and then they play a ball into the runner, whoever that midfield runner was. And I don't know if teams have worked this out or whether it's just like, we don't have a plan B in that respect. But I mean, credit them. Last night I thought they defended superbly. Like the shape was, they were man for man. They were energetic. They were hungry. They had desire. They had everything that you would expect in an FA Cup tie. And I mean, I wasn't on the preview when in the Arsenal game, so I don't know what the predictions were. But I would, if it was me, I would have went for a very close win. I expected to win. I wouldn't have thought it would be like an easy win, but typically, you talk about an FA Cup game under lights, away from home, on a bobbly pitch. That pitch wasn't easy, by the way, last night. You could see the ball bobbling about. It wasn't sort of, the passing wasn't crisp. I'm not saying that's an excuse, because you should still be able to pass a ball properly if you're a professional footballer. But yeah, I mean, like I say, I know I keep banging on about this. I'm positive about it. It's like, I see this season as a bit of a free hit. Of course, if we went out last night, they'd be really, really disappointed, particularly because of the opposition. So the fact that we scraped through. Don't forget, when we got the final of the Carabao Cup last year, we scraped through at home against Crystal Palace. That was 0-0 each, and we won that game on penalties as well. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't expect to go out and just perform and win games all of the time. Sometimes you've got to win ugly. I thought Almiron made a massive difference, and I'm a massive advocate. Almiron is a really, really important player. Yes, there's an upgrade on him. I'm not going to deny that. I think that if I want to kick on, we'll have to get a better right midfielder in. But it's got to be someone who plays the same system the way that he does. And he's high press. You could see that when he come on last night. That's when we got higher up the pitch. That's when we started to force their defenders into errors. And that's when we got a couple of chances when I think it was Longstaff and Gordon should have scored. Gordon should have scored two, actually, when he missed a sitter before he scored. But I thought Almiron made a huge difference. I thought he was really good when he come on. Other than him, the keeper, Dubravka, and possibly Lascelles until that era, I don't think there was many great performances. Longstaff, as much, I never like to slag players off or criticise him, but the last few games he's been really off the boil. Like for me, I don't know if it's overplaying or tiredness or whatever, but he just looked like he's hitting the straps or the levels that he was hitting last year. So that's a bit of a concern. And I think lastly, the only thing I wanted to raise is that people are thinking, oh great, these injured players are coming back, we're going to be a much better team. Don't forget, it takes a while for injured players to come back and hit the straps as well. So like you can't expect Barnes and whoever's coming back. I don't know who else. Willock, Campbell. Whoever's miracles from Willock. He was good against Arsenal because he had a cameo for 20 minutes. There's difference when you're starting the game after you've had a long layoff. You know what I mean? So you've got to be a little bit patient with regards to that. So, but yeah, I mean, hopefully, that performance is out the way. We'll start to pick up. Massive game on Saturday to keep on the hunt for Europe. And like Len said, it's 7 o'clock tonight. Hopefully, we'll get a favourable draw. And I would class a favourable draw as any team at home. I'm not bothered who it is. Just want to play at home, right?
Yeah. Three away ties were due a home game, surely.
Well, like I say, hopefully we'll have more luck in the FA Cup with the draws than we did in the Carabao Cup, because I thought there was a little bit of shithousery going on with them draws.
When they were looking at the balls.
On Goodman,
me. I thought, what's going on here? Yeah, me. Anyway, I mean, what concerns me, right, and I'm sure, probably it is most people, is last season, I mean, our defence, I mean, it was rock solid, wasn't it? And we're just, like, we went to Blackburn last night, right? In the back of my mind, I honestly thought Blackburn will score. Because I think you touched on it that day, Len. That's what teams do against us now. They score. Mm-hmm. So I thought we're going to have to score 2 goals because they will score.
But as the game went on, Rob, that's exactly what I thought. As the game went on, as it got towards the final whistle and the final bit of extra time, for me, we weren't going to score. They were. And as you say, last season, our whole season was built on a firm defence where you almost knew we're not going to concede. Whereas now you feel the opposite, don't you?
Yeah, it is a concern. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, people can blame goalkeepers, and I do think there is a massive problem in that midfield. A massive problem. And I think until that gets addressed, our defence is going to come under severe pressure every game. Every game. That's just my opinion, but there you go. What's your guys' take on that? Yeah,
I think you're right. I think
there's a massive problem in the midfield. Huge problem.
Well, I think there's another issue. I think you've got Bruno's not getting stuck in. That's his own fault, right, for getting too many bookings earlier on in the season for this, that, and the other. That probably weren't, there weren't bookings worth getting, if you know what I mean. So he's been walking this tightrope for so many games. So we're not seeing the best of Bruno. Obviously, Joe Linton's not in there. Willock's not been in there. Longstaff's going through a run of bad form. So I think it's a combination. But pretty much we've got 3, reasonable midfielders in there, but not.
Anderson's back as well, isn't he? You've got Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson's back. So Anderson could possibly
quite strong.
He could come back in for Longstaff. So I just think there's just maybe nobody commanding that midfield, and it's not strong enough. And I think you're right, Rob, entirely. It's a bit like, I don't know. It's happened loads of times in the past where if the midfield's not the amount of pressure our defence and the keeper come under because of that midfield is massive. And you've also got to think, we're not really doing centre forward wise. We haven't done much for weeks and weeks. So there's no target man there really, in the way that we would like to have, particularly before Isak came back. So I think it's a bit of a combination of the midfield and the forwards aren't doing their stuff. So therefore, it's inviting the opposition to attack, and it's putting more under pressure, like the bad old days, I suppose.
I'm not sure if you've heard anything, but is that right? Botman didn't travel at all with the squad yesterday.
He was rested.
Was he? Rested.
Yes, his knee. I think his knee's been sort of giving him a few issues. I don't think there's any major problems, but Eddie Howe just said he rested him to train on Tyneside and get another week's training or something. So
I think it's well, hopefully he'll come back. If the player that we know he can be. Hopefully.
Don't need another player out, do we?
No.
I mean, no, he was, well, like I said the other day, I don't think his head's right. I mean, his decision making's been appalling lately, but there you go. Right, that's great, lads. Right,
just
anything?
Sorry, just on Botman as well. I know I didn't do the Arsenal summary, but he was appalling, wasn't he?
Terrible. His decision making was appalling.
Was really bad. Like, so that, the fact that he's given that rest suggests to me is that, like, there might be an underlying problem. I don't know if it's like he's flared up or whatever, but it just seems odd that, like, he isn't in the squad at all. I don't know. Maybe he's carrying an injury. I don't know. It just seems a little bit odd, doesn't it? So,
I'm just thinking, and as we're talking there, it seems so out of character, the performances that he's put in the last couple of games. It reminds me of earlier, not so long ago when Trippier had 2 or 3 really crappy games. You know, so again, you don't know, is there something, it could be something completely different, but there could be something not even injury related, where there's something going on outside of football that's causing him to like go completely like, you know, useless basically just overnight. So hopefully it is just something like that that can be sorted and he can come back into the team and be as effective as he was up until 2 or 3 games ago.
Oh, last season, I mean, he was superb when he was Rolls Royce.
Brilliant,
yeah.
Every single game, his levels are so high. So I mean, you know, you get back to that. I don't know, it might be overplayed again. He's coming back from a serious injury. He was playing on with a cruciate ligament injury, wasn't he, as well? So that probably hasn't done him any good. But yeah, I think there's no worry about Botman. I think he'll get back to those levels. It's just that short term. There's obviously a little bit of an issue, but hopefully we can get that sorted out pretty quickly.
I think we'll need another right-sided centre-half in the summer, though, because I can see Lascelles going. We're going to have to buy probably a younger centre-half, do you think, on the right side? We've got Burn to play the left with Botman, so I think we'll need another right, especially if Dummett goes as well and we'll lose a couple of centre-halves.
I read yesterday Dummett's definitely leaving in the summer, so as most people in the comments said, it's about time, like he could have gone years ago. And I think, bear in mind how many minutes he's put in this season, he did help us out when we had a terrible injury problem, but you know, his time's come. He's been a good servant, and he'll probably start games. You know,
I was reading yesterday, Len. Do you know how much Fraser's on a week?
No,
70,000.
Unbelievable, isn't it? And that's why we can't get rid of. That's exactly.
We'll be paying 55 of that, and Southampton will be paying 15. So we're paying 55 of that, and Jeff Hendrick was on 50, and I think we're paying 40 grand of his. That's only 100 grand a week on 2 players who don't even play for you.
Well, he didn't even get in the squad, did he, Jeff Hendrick?
He's injured, so I don't think they put him in. He's back here, I think.
I mean, do you know what, right? For most Newcastle fans, right? Clean sheet for a Newcastle fan is something you take out the washing machine on a Sunday afternoon these days. That's, you know, I mean, it's, when was the last time? It is, isn't it? I mean, every game, I don't know about you.
Rob, I've seen your washing machine, and yeah, it's not that.
Yeah, you haven't. No, you haven't. Every game we play now, right? I am expecting us to concede every single game.
I agree with you.
Home or away. But hopefully we'll ride the storm, and you know we'll get back on it. We need to, you know.
Well, last season the pressing was amazing. Last season we were relentless.
Incredible.
We weren't giving teams a minute on the ball. Now it's just so easy to get through. You know, I can't put my finger on. I know Joe Linton's a miss, but there's got to be something deeper.
Right. Okay. We'll wrap that up for the time being, and we'll move forward to Saturday's game against Wolves, St James's Park, 3 o'clock kickoff. How would you say this one going, Paul?
Well, Wolves play tonight. I think it'll depend what team they put out, won't it? Because if we played extra time last night, we'll probably just blame tiredness on Saturday. If we don't get through, beat them. But I've watched Wolves a couple of times. They're very energetic. Very good side. Very good side on the day. Remember them playing Old Trafford early on the season when they got robbed. Got penalty they should have had. Shocking. I've seen them a couple of times, and they're a really good side. Especially that, is it Neto on the wing? He ran right against us, and then he went off, didn't he, in the home game? Is it the Japanese or Chinese? Hwang up front. He's quite lively this season. They've got some really good technical players. You can get at them at the back. So it should be quite a good game. But home form's been pretty poor, hasn't it, lately? Like, I don't think we've won in 4 or 5 games at home now. So we need to get back to winning ways if we're going to get any chance of 6th or 7th this season. But we're going to have to start winning these kind of games. I know we've got like quite a favourable run in. But we've got to start showing it now. There's no excuses. Tiredness or the squad, we're getting players back now. So I think we could nick it 1-0, but I think it'll be very tight.
Okay. Good. How do you see Saturday going?
Tough one, isn't it? Normally I'd be really confident, but obviously the Luton and Bournemouth games has kind of thought, well, hold on a minute, it's it could be a little bit different. I mean, I still expect to win, don't get us wrong. I think that, you know, I'd fancy you against anyone at home. But if we can just put this little bit of a sort of slippery patch that we've been going through to one side and get back to where we were playing previously, then, you know, we should beat them comfortably. They are a good side. I watched their game last week. I think
decent.
United. And actually, they weren't as good as they normally are. I've seen them a couple of times this season. They're quite good on the break and they play some decent stuff. But But I mean, it's going to be interesting, the team, isn't it? I just wonder what team he's going to put on Saturday, bearing in mind that some people played a lot of minutes last night. Yeah, so I mean, Barnes, I would expect him to start on Saturday. He's not started the last two, but I'm just a little bit worried in the back of my head. I'm thinking, does Howe fancy him? You know what I mean? It's like he's not.
I don't think he fancies him on the left, does he? That he'd have to move Gordon to the right, wouldn't he?
But where did he play for Leicester, by the way? I mean, I don't know too much about him before.
On the left. He very rarely
played on the left
right
side.
Played on the left.
He did play on the right a few times, but
Not
predominantly he was on the left.
Yeah, it's just interesting that, and I noticed a couple of. I don't know if you guys noticed, but how the camera went to him a couple of times and he was screaming his name to get his shape. That was on like 2 or 3 occasions, you know. So it's like, I just hope it's not going to go down the whole Lewis Hall route with Barnes, because I did read, and it could be speculation, that the fallout between Ashworth and Howe was based on a couple of the summer signings. Now, obviously, Tonali could have been one of them because of the situation, but that was unforeseen. Livermento's done really well, so I don't think that would be him. So that just leaves the other two, doesn't it? Leaves Hall and Barnes. So you never know. But yeah, I mean, I know I'm going off on a tangent there, but I think it does depend on the team. But yeah, prediction wise, Rob, I think we're going to win 2-1.
2-1. Okay, I'll go with that 2-1 because I do think we'll concede. Len, how do you see Saturday going?
Well, I agree with what you've all said about Wolves. I think for that, that middle section of teams, of which we are currently in, I think they're one of the best. They're probably the best out of the. If you go out the top 7, I think play great football, good on the counter. They score plenty of goals. They've got a great away record. I've just been looking at that today. They've won like the last 3 games away from home. They've won at Spurs and they've won at Chelsea out of those 3 games quite convincingly in those quite convincing performances I seem to remember. We haven't won since early December. Fulham. I think Fulham 3-0, was it?
And they had 10 men.
Yeah. So we haven't won for yonks. I mean, we're going into March and we haven't won since beginning of December. So I'm going to exercise caution and get splinters in my arse. And I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
Very good, Len. Okay, right. So now, time for a bit of fun and games.
Oh, no. Yeah, we'll go.
Right.
Glasses on. I've got to do better.
The first one is Alan Houghton. The first one is Alan Houghton.
No. Right. Okay, here we go. So who is this?
It could be anybody, man, Rob.
I'm trying to look at the way he's putting that little finger.
I always think it's a midfield. I always think these players are midfielders, and maybe I need to think more.
I'll tell you what. If you're struggling, I'll give you a little clue.
Go on.
No, I think I know who it is. I think.
Right. I'm pretty certain at the moment he's based in California.
I know who it is. I would have said.
Oh.
Lives in California.
Yeah. Can I have a guess or not?
I think I've got a name there. So I think that's. I don't know if it's a good clue or bad clue.
Everyone got a name?
Yeah, I think I know it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So who is that, Paul?
Barry Venison.
Len?
Oh, well, I can't copy that. I was going to go Warren Barton.
No, that's before Barton. That's before Barton. Barton signed in the second season of the Premier League.
Right.
Yeah,
95, 96.
I'm with Anders. It's Venison.
It certainly is. Okay.
I got that before the America clue.
I didn't realise that he lived in America.
No, I didn't.
I live in California.
And I knew Warren Barton did. So it's your fault, Rob, on that one.
It's always my fault. Right, next one. You should get this. This is pretty easy.
Oh no, I know that one.
I've got that, I think.
I think I've got that one as well.
Okay.
Can I just clarify? Just Rob, did he come as part of the Andy Cole deal?
Nope.
No, it's not him.
No, I think he'd gone by then, by that cup final.
I think at that point, he could have been possibly playing for Blackburn Rovers. Keith Gillespie, I think, at this point. But anyway, right, okay. Owen, who is that?
Didi Hillman.
Paul?
Yeah, I think it's a man, yeah.
Len?
I'm not even going to guess then on this one because I'll just cheat. So I have no idea.
There you go.
How do you
Correct.
get that
Well
right? Okay, right.
The cup final
God.
shirt tie. The cup
How do
final.
you get that? Is that because he's wearing a t-shirt underneath his top? Mind, I remember that top. Actually, I just not to change the subject. The fact I'm getting the wooden spoon again tonight, but I've got a cupboard full of them, so I didn't need any more. But it did have a bit of a scratchy collar. That top, I seem to remember.
Yes.
I always wore a t-shirt under mine.
I'm expecting us all to get this. What was that?
Oh, yeah.
Right, right, Paul. Why'd you say that? How'd you say that with so confidence? Have you got no better?
He says that in every picture, man.
No, I know who it is straight away.
Right, okay. Owen, do you have a name?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Then?
No. Can we not have a different game?
Well, then you must know that, surely.
Len, I'll give you a clue. He still plays for her.
How well, Len?
It's not Dubravka.
Come on, you'll have to say down, Len, man. Come on.
Oh, well, Len.
But I'm not letting the side down because it just makes it more exciting for those few people who do bother to watch us, you know.
Len, you should be getting that. You should be getting that, Len.
You don't know that?
Shut up. Is he regular? He's not regular in the team.
Yes,
oh,
he is.
Oh, my God. Jesus. Oh, well, Len.
I just can't, honestly, I can't see it, man. They all look like...
Paul, put him out of his misery.
It's Bruno.
You get that one, Owen?
Well, why has he got a top under there, like?
Dear me.
Rob, I think we need to change. I think we need to call this competition we need to scrap it. I think because I don't.
Well, to be honest with you, Len, I am running out of wooden spoons. So maybe we'll have to come up with some other format or something. Anyway, so next one, the final one. I'm confident.
You won't get it.
I'm expecting to. I think you and Owen will get this. I mean, I've lost faith
in
Len.
Well, Len,
so.
Len wouldn't get it even if it was his wife coming up. Len wouldn't get it.
I mean, I think I could show Len the actual picture and he still wouldn't get it. But that would have been that.
Why do you sit wide for Len? Show the face to block the body out. To see if you see it.
Good idea. Yeah, good idea. Right, okay.
You're going to do that next time, aren't you, Rob?
I might actually. Just to give you a chance. Right, who's this?
Oh, I think I've got it.
Oh, yeah, it's
But did we say no? Hold on.
Well, it's in the same team as the shirt reminds us of Johan Kabay, but it's not him. So it's in the same team as Johan Kabay.
Oh, it could be two. I'm thinking of two players.
I'm thinking of two, now that Len said that. I think that's a little bit after Kabay.
Do you?
I think it's
right,
the same.
I'll tell you now, it's not Remy.
Right,
He's a centre forward. He is a centre forward.
I know.
Is that who I'm thinking of, Owen?
That eliminates one of them, but it was the other one that was more.
Oh, I know. I think I know.
But it still might be wrong, Yeah, I'm going to go with who I'm originally thinking.
I'll even tell you the game.
Oh,
hold on. Right, Owen, who was that?
I think it's Wijnaldum.
Yeah.
Paul?
That's against Norwich when he got, was it 4? I'm sure it was.
I might not even just bother asking you, Len.
Well,
to
be fair, I'm a very honest man, and I did actually get that one. But
Len will go with Terry McDermott.
Did you?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well done.
He was a great player, by the way.
That's a Norwich game.
He's good. He's a good player at home.
He was.
Couldn't get shit away from home, money. What was that game where he got 4?
Norwich.
That's one game.
Norwich at home, man.
Aye, he was unstoppable.
I think at home he just looked awesome. You're right what you say there, and I think at home he looked absolutely awesome.
Then I haven't got a wooden spoon. Will that do?
Excuse me. It's before the watershed there, Paul.
Sorry, I've just got that out of my wife's straw.
I was going to say,
if I'd thought about it, I would have brought my own wooden spoon, but not to worry. It makes all sorts, and some competitions I'm good at, and some I'm not. And that one I'm not.
Hey, look, Listen, I'll go away and I'll think of something else to put into the show where
Instead of making Len look silly every week, but you might as well.
you've got it. You've got it one, and that's got it one.
Rob,
Yes,
I'm
Len?
very good at I'm very good at maths. So if you can come up with some maths questions, I'm pretty confident I could do well in that.
Maths. I'm just trying to how can I incorporate.
Actually,
maths
Rob, you
into
look a bit
football?
like Carol Vorderman. Like you could maybe get Russell Summit up.
Carol Vorderman. That's not
He's
good.
obviously got a longer beard than yours, like.
Listen,
I
Len.
think you need to
don't
check your
take-
internet connection, Paul.
Len,
Sorry.
don't take it to heart, Len. You know.
No,
The most important. It's the participation. That's the most
It is.
important thing.
It's a taking part
know.
that's important. Yeah.
But he wasn't participating. That was the problem.
Well, he was, but he wasn't just very good at it. So, anyway, right, that's great, lads. So we'll do the Wolves review show on Sunday about 4:00.
Yeah.
How are you on for 4? All good?
Yeah.
Right, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, boys and girls, if you'd like to see our pretty faces every other Sunday afternoon. It doesn't cost anything and it's much appreciated. So until Sunday afternoon, on behalf of myself, Paul, Owen and Len, we'll see you then. Take care, everyone. Ta-ra now.
See you later.